Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Villains on the Rebirth server. We are with Nightmare Lass, our level 42 Mastermind, who has 13 million experience earned with about a million to go to get to level 43, 59 million infamy, and we are on a second story arc for Ambassador Correct. Just noticed, correct. If you say it quickly, correct, it means right. Correct. Correct. Interesting. And we call him up, and he says, Nightmare Lass, work excellent. Nightmare Lass, demarcation trustworthy. Time occurs. Special request, pause 1 moment. I need your help with something. Only trust outsider. No, wait, let me try again. I'm sorry. It's just difficult to think. Like a human again. It's been so long. And once you are part of the mind link, it is difficult to even remember sometimes, but something always brings you back. For me, that something is revenge. I'm a Richter now, and I don't regret it. And Richter are supposed to be beyond revenge. But I was human a long time ago, and I was a villain, like you. So now we need the help of someone ruthless but trustworthy enough to get me the vengeance I've wanted for so long. This will be difficult. You'll need a team to do this, and the last operation will be on a tight schedule. But you'll get to face two of Paragon's best and wreak my vengeance upon them. Well, I don't know if this is going to be something that is going to require a team. We're kind of our own team, so we'll see what happens. We need to kidnap Dr. Westway in Nerva Archipelago. I'm right here near the ship, so we'll just head to another zone. I don't know if this is going to be... If we're going to be fighting arch-villains at the end of this, we can't do that with our minions. They will die. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. On the other hand, I got some pretty good resistances now. So if the enemy is smashing lethal or toxic, I might be able to survive, although I don't know if my minions will. We'll just give it a try and see what happens, guys. We do have, some buffs, so we'll see how we go. So we're on our way to this mission. We'll do a couple for this episode. After we're done with this contact, I'm going to stop recording until we get to level 43. And we'll keep doing sort of one contact's story arcs at a time. I think when I'm off screen, I'm going to try to avoid doing more arcs for new contacts, because I want to have those available to do with you guys on screen. So I might do some newspaper missions or try some missions that are repeatables or things like that to level us up. We'll see what happens. First, though, we've got to do correct missions. And we'll see how we go. We've been doing pretty well with this character. I haven't had to... it's been a very long time since I've felt the need to auto-complete a mission. It's been quite a while. A couple levels, I think, and I think the last one was something that was just aggravating more than anything else. Like maybe I had to repeat it. By the way, when these guys come on this level here, you can actually see their feet start down here, and then they go up through the floor, which is really kind of cool. I like it. If they're on the ground, it looks like they're coming up from the ground, but here it looks like they're actually coming out of thin air, which is really kind of awesome, since they are coming from another plane of existence, right? The abyss or whatever. They are demons. In D&D lore, that means they come from the abyss. Oh, I did not realize there were more guys there. Oh well. So we're aggro 2 spawns, we're fine. They're yellow cons, so they're no big deal. And there's a spec ops I didn't notice as well, because it went invisible. Yeah, that was 2 full spawns that I dumbly aggroed. I only saw the one guy there and figured, oh, he's just a guy by himself. It's done that to me a few times lately, so that's why I wasn't thinking in terms of spawns, which I should have been. Coming, guys? Let's go. Alright, I guess we're going to teleport this guy over here, because there are a lot of enemies, and they're all orange. Also, don't need this catch breath, so we'll get rid of it. I do love this teleport this teleport foe. It's been really useful. Remember I took it by accident back at like level 12 or something because I thought it might allow me to teleport NPCs that were getting lost, and it doesn't do that. There is apparently no way to teleport NPCs that are getting lost, but it's been a great help for pulling. I don't have to like shoot them myself and take the aggro. I can just teleport them and let my minions attack. Very nice. Alright, I think we can head in now. This side should be just the next spawn. Now these guys are doing mostly lethal damage, which I now have. Well, when I've got all my buffs running, look at that, 70% resistance. There have been times when I've actually been at the lethal smashing resistance cap with this character and gotten close to it with Toxic. That is more resistance than my Scrapper's ever had. So she's in pretty good shape. The main problem isn't her at this point, it's her minions. Right? That they don't have that same resistance. And, you know, I can keep healing them, but you can only heal so fast. Alright. We're doing quite well so far. We just need to kidnap Dr. Westway, and I'm sure this is going to be another escort mission. We don't need that red. We really don't need all of these. We don't need 2 break frees, 1 is enough. I'd rather get some more defense and resistance inspirations for my minions. I have to say it's very difficult to one of these rooms, or this is going to be a tough one. It's very difficult to deal with the inspirations with minions, dragging them onto them and stuff. It's a hassle. Plus, you have to do, you have to do 6 of them to get every minion just a single inspiration, which is sort of frustrating. I wish there was an easier way to do it. Maybe there is if you use some kind of macro. But again, that's one of the reasons I'm actually really looking forward to just playing a single character where I don't have to micromanage NPCs anymore. As much as I love the Mastermind, and I certainly don't regret playing it, I love it, and I think it's perfect for a villain because instead of risking yourself, you're risking your minions. It's just absolutely perfect. It's so selfish and kind of mean, and I love it. And it's very villainous, and I love how evil she is, and I like her minions. They're really cool, and the effects are awesome. I don't regret it at all, and I think she's a perfect character to be a villain. But I am getting tired of constantly having to manage the minions, and I'm very much looking forward to getting back to just beating things up with a single character, with a Scrapper or a Brute. There is our target, and we have an elite boss to fight. So that means we are going to buff. Oh, wrong buff. Hell on Earth. Painbringer. World of Pain. Rune of Protection. Teleport. I'd rather bring the boss over here. And go for it, guys. And now he's got a shield, so we're going to cut into it with our debuff. Looks like I hit him. Make sure our minions hit, do damage. And my job is mostly to try and heal them. There go the Alpha Strikes. Let's give some defense to Curly. Some sturdy to Mo, some defense to Larry. Let's go. And that's what the inspirations are there for. And now we're going to aggro another group. That's bad. Nothing I could do, though, because he was at the edge here. So there probably I don't think there was going to be any way. Why am I not moving? Here we go. I don't think there was going to be any way to get past him and not aggro him. And now he's going to cause trouble because it's become a running fight, and my minions are going to get caught on the door. So it's like the AI is taking advantage of the stupidity of the AI, which is kind of annoying. I mean, I take advantage of the stupidity of the AI all the time. I guess turnabout is fair play, but it's sort of annoying that they could program the AI to take advantage of itself almost. And now, as always, it's like you get him down to a sliver, and then it takes as much damage to take that sliver off as it took to get him down to the sliver in the first place. Alright, so we're going to have to beat these guys up. And I'm going to stay hidden so that this guy doesn't actually follow me, so that we finish these guys off, because I don't want to deal with an ambush while I'm fighting them. And the ambush shouldn't trigger, if there is one, until after I have gotten the NPC to recognize my existence, which he won't do while I'm stealth. Alright, so now he recognizes me, and so now if there's an ambush, it might come. So what I'm going to try to do to deal with the AI is send my minions through the doors first. You see how they can't even figure out how to do it? Look at, he can't even get through the door. You see? And try to send my minions through the door first, so that the NPC doesn't get stuck on the minions. This becomes a slow, tedious slog, which I'm sure is, well, I was going to say, I'm sure isn't what the developers intended, but given what my buddy Ardiwin said about how this was purposely designed to essentially tick off the stalker and punish the stalker players, right? It was designed against them. Maybe they did do this on purpose to make it suck. I don't know. I have said in the past, I don't know if they were designing it on purpose to make it suck, but if they weren't, they sure as heck did a good job of making it suck. You know what I mean? Like, they made it suck. Whether they were trying to or not, I don't know, but they certainly succeeded in making it suck. They couldn't have done a better job at making it suck if they had been doing it on purpose. Let's put it that way. And it's not because they're ambushing me and my minions are having a hard time protecting me because they're not targeting the minions. I don't care about that. I mean, that's fine. We can deal with that before, and there are lots of ambushes when we're not leading anybody out that that we've dealt with, and I'm perfectly fine with that. It doesn't want to click. There we go. You see how the minions can't? You see how they can't figure out how to get down the stairs? And that's what the AI is doing with the NPC as well. They're just getting caught on each other. There's another ambush coming, but it's too late because this guy should be coming out, and we're just going to head out. So I mean, I don't really mind the ambushes per se. I know they're designed to be a pain in the neck, but the ambushes themselves aren't so bad. It's the leading out of the NPCs that I hate because of all that getting caught. Having nothing to do with your skill as a player and everything to do with the incompetence of the AI pathfinding. And if they had just made the AI, the NPC be able to walk through your minions the way you can, it would be no issue. Because they could just follow me, but because they can't, they keep getting blocked by the bigger minions who have a very large, what they call a hitbox, which is sort of the area around them, the sort of the area that they repel someone from. And then they get caught between two minions, they get stuck on the wall, then I'm past them and they lose me. And I don't realize it, and I'm 2 hallways down, and they're stuck behind me going, "Where'd you go?" Even though I'm not stealth, which is kind of annoying. So he says, "I barely know Dr. Westway, but he's the best bait for the trap. You see, one of his friends, Dr. Richard Keyes, that's right. Now with Westway in our possession, we can draw out the first real target, positron." So I place false information. Through Lost Spies in Paragon City, positron is headed to the Rogue Isles. Positron thinks Arachnos kidnapped Dr. Westway, therefore he will attack Arachnos. This will leave him open to attack in turn. Arachnos will not be friendly to you, but they are unimportant to me. I can smooth ruffled feathers later, defeat positron, and then all will be ready. Be alerted, positron extremely powerful. If you do not bring allies, failure likely. All right, so one of the things I'm going to do here, and I will pause it, is we're going down to +0. I don't think +1 is a good idea against positron. He'll probably kick my butt anyway. If he's an arch-villain, we cannot complete this task, and I'm just going to auto-complete it, and we'll stop recording this story arc. But if it's regular elite boss, we should be able to beat even positron. I've done it before, or defeated the guy that was holding positron, right? I think it should be okay if he's an elite boss. He should just be an elite boss, but we'll see. I will come back when we have changed levels and we are at the mission door. Alright folks, we are back. And we're going to head on in. Defeat positron is our goal. It's probably going to be an Arachnos base. Yep, my favorite terrain. So as we go, I actually want to discuss a few things about role-playing games and MMOs. There's a new, I think it's an MMO that's out, Cyberpunk 2070 or something. And a bunch of people who used to be on my supergroup and are still in that Discord are playing it. And one of the people in that group was talking about how I guess there is a lot of flaming going on in the community. I don't know if they have game forums anymore. Maybe there's a Discord. But apparently the game went live with a lot of bugs and a lot of issues, which is fairly common for MMOs. In fact, I've said this before, City of Heroes was fairly unique, not only for its time, but I think ever as an MMO, that it was damn solid when it went live. And you pretty much could play it as it was supposed to be played. There were, of course, map server disconnect issues. Back then, after all, people were mostly playing on dial-up, and even the speed of the server, you know, the ISP for the server wasn't probably the speed I have in my house right now, because nobody had that kind of speed back then. It was 2004, you know, and people were on 28.8 or 56.6 modems, and a really good data center was operating maybe 10 or 20 times faster than that, but it wasn't operating, you know, it was operating maybe a tenth of the speed my personal internet connection operates at, and I'm not an internet service provider. So these guys had a lot less powerful hardware to work from, and the map disconnects were probably unavoidable. But in terms of the actual gameplay, this game was smooth as silk from the very beginning. It worked really well from the very beginning, and it wasn't very buggy. There were certainly balance issues, but the relationship between the developers and the player base was reasonably good from the beginning. The developers actually went through the exercise of personally answering things on the forum. Statesman, as I've said before, I PM'd him, I personally messaged him on the forums, and he responded to me. And he actually even, and I've mentioned this too, when I made a very long and detailed description of how my supergroup had fared and what the problems I was facing as a tanker were. Now I felt like I couldn't tank properly. Statesman actually PM'd me. This is what the private message was for. He private messaged me. What are you guys doing? He private messaged me and said, send me the level and archetype and power set composition of the group you were in. And he went into that, and what mission it was, right? And he went into the mission with a bunch of other developers, an 8-man team. So he took 7 of the other developers, and they went into a mission together using the same character archetypes, levels, and power sets that we had used in the mission to see what I was talking about, to experience it for himself. And the guy spent, you know, an hour of his time, because it was a long mission, doing this and playing through it. And then he actually posted a report on the forum of his experience tanking with my character, essentially, an invuln SS tanker who was like level 30 sidekicked up to 42 or something. And he went and played it. And then he reported on it. And he said, look, I think it played fine. Now, a lot of us weren't happy with that. What he described he was doing was sort of off-tanking. He wasn't truly tanking. They were doing pulls. And we were saying, look, we want to be able to, we're tankers. We want to be able to dive into the spawn and hold aggro, not like peel people off and do pulls. You do pulls when you don't have a tank. And, you know, he said, look, I disagree. I'm very happy with the way this played. And what I said to him then was, look, I don't agree with you, but I greatly appreciate the fact that you took the time to do this. And I think we can agree to disagree in good faith at this point and just recognize that your vision of tankers is different from mine, and I got to live with that. But I very much appreciated that he did that, and it wasn't the only time he did something like that, and he wasn't the only developer to do it. In fact, Statesman Jack Emmert was kind of arrogant, and Positron and Castle and some of the others, and Warwitch especially, were much more willing to listen to what players were saying and respond. And Warwitch, in fact, was super cool and probably one of the best liked developers. Now she designed zones and stuff in the early game, so she was responsible for the design of all the coolest levels and everything that I think is so well designed. A lot of that was her, and she was really awesome. But she was also a super nice person, and she would answer questions on the forums directly and explain things. She was a very good explainer, so she often got on there and explained things better than the other developers. And I feel like the player base had a very good relationship, as these things go, a very good relationship with the City of Heroes developers in the first couple years, and certainly when it launched. These guys were like our buddies. I mean, we loved the game and we loved the developers, and I don't remember people in general bad-mouthing the game. I do remember, you know, the player base getting into arguments with each other about the way the game should play for tankers versus scrappers versus stalkers versus blasters. That's definitely true. But what often happens in MMOs that didn't happen in City of Heroes because it was so solid when it went live. Is that Positron up there? What is happening in Cyberpunk, and happens in many MMOs that didn't really happen in City of Heroes, is because the game is like heavily bugged, which almost all MMOs are when they launch. Because they almost always have to launch when they're not ready because they need money. What happens is the player base gets divided into those who are reporting the bugs and complaining about the issues, and those who are like adamantly defending the game because they feel like when I say that there's something bugged about City of Heroes, it's almost like I'm insulting you because you like City of Heroes. This is a mentality I've never really understood, but I do recognize that it happens, and apparently this is happening in Cyberpunk, that there are a bunch of bugs, and there's a very vocal, loyal player base that just wants everyone, they just play the game and enjoy it. Why are you pointing out all these bugs? And other people are saying, look, these are legitimate bugs, problems, balance issues, shortcomings with the game. These need to be addressed or the game isn't going to last for very long. And I think if you are a fan of a game and you want to see the game last and have longevity, there's Positron. Oh, good, he's an elite boss, so we should be able to get him. If you want to see a game last and have longevity, you've got to. It needs to be criticized when there are things wrong, because otherwise it won't get better. And if it doesn't get better, eventually the people who are not the loyal, like the super loyal Uber fans, the regular players are going to say, we're not putting up with these bugs, screw this, and stop playing, right? And then the game dies. You don't want that if you like the game. Come on. Now, we're probably going to get Positron, but we'll see what happens. We didn't get him. Excellent. Let's get his other little assistant here. And we're not going to go quite as far because this person will die very quickly and then Positron will be alone. And I actually kind of want him to come. But he is not coming. Do we have anybody else in here? It doesn't look like it. Tab isn't targeting anything, so go get him. He's a red elite boss. We should be okay. There will be some AoEs. There we go. There's one of them. Let me lower his defense. And I've just got to keep spamming my AoE power. What's going on? I'm being debuffed. So this is gonna hurt because my powers aren't recharging. So this is where we need our group heal. Come on, guys, attack him. What are you doing? Do some more damage. Make sure you hit. Yep, he's okay as a red elite boss. Yep, there's his Alpha Strike or Omega Strike. And yep, I didn't hit the AoE heal fast enough. What's going on? It's not letting me heal anybody. Come on, get him. We got him. Okay, guys, good job. We defeated Positron. Alright, so Positron's been defeated. It cost us most of our minions, but that's okay. So yeah, folks, I would say, whether it's City of Heroes or anything else, and obviously City of Heroes is not being actively developed, so when I grumble about things, all I'm doing is grumbling, and it's not really going to cause any change. But if you're in a live game, and you love the game, and some other players are saying, look, there are all these problems with the game, don't get mad at them. They're doing you and the developers a favor by pointing out bugs and problems, and if the player really wants the game to fail, what they're going to do instead is just stop playing and not say anything. Saying something is what you do when you're trying to help somebody. Now, of course, some players are very aggressive and very argumentative when they make their complaints, but still, you should be grateful when somebody finds a bug and points it out, not flame them for pointing out a bug. And I have been flamed for pointing out bugs in betas. Right? I'm in a beta test. This is Lord of the Rings Online. I'm in a beta test, and I found some actual bugs and some problems, and there were some animation glitches, and I reported them, and I was pounced on by people who were like, "You're a jerk. You're going to cause the game to delay launch if they have to fix all these issues." I'm like, why wouldn't you want to fix them? You don't want the game to launch with bugs, or people will not subscribe to it, and then the game you love will die. So again, doesn't work for private server City of Heroes. That if when I kvetch, I'm just kvetching, right? But if it's a live game and there are bugs, you want the players to point this out to the developers and them to hear it and understand it and fix it, rather than just let it suck and then nobody's going to play it and they'll go out of business. And then they'll shut the servers off, which is what they did in City of Heroes after a while, right? You don't want them shutting the servers down if you like the game. So don't be defensive. It's not you didn't make the game. You're not one of the developers. Don't get offended when somebody says this is a bug and needs to be fixed, or this is badly designed and needs a rethink. They're doing the game a favor. So don't get upset. All right, enough about that. Let's talk to Correct. And he says, Positron now in our grasp. Now she'll come. Now I'll have my revenge at last. Who is this? Now all parts in place. My Richter fellows are planning. Utilize Positron as a power source. This was how I convinced them to try this in the first place. But that is meaningless to me. And more important, rescue effort underway. Now real target appears. Valkyrie is coming to Rogue Isles. You only have 90 minutes to defeat Valkyrie. Alright guys, we're at almost 30 minutes, so I think we're going to do this in the next episode, so I'm not going to click yes on that. In the next episode, we will defeat Valkyrie, and I think that's probably enough of this guy's story arcs that I will stop recording there, and then I will work my way to level 43. So I think we're going to stop there. Until next time, folks, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains on the Rebirth server.